All right, what is up, tycoons? Or what is up, traders? Super excited for today's video. Coming at you with a video on two tokens. One has gone up over 160%, and the other one has gone up over 200% from the beginning of the year, from the January 2023 to its most recent highs. We're going to break down a really good technical analysis as well as go over some of the key and important things that you need to start learning so that way you can help really understand price action and understand where things could potentially go to the upside as well as to the downside, so you're prepared in case there's any turnarounds and you're not caught by surprise of any moves to the upside that you FOMO into. And hopefully this video will help get rid of some FOMO, and then hopefully this video will also help people in understanding why things sometimes pull back and how you can understand the potential and the possibilities of a pullback and spot them beforehand. So make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to take a look at Dent, all right, Dent Wireless, and then we're also going to take a look at OriginTrail, ticker symbol TRAC, TRAC. This is a viewer request. I do these viewer requests every week, so if you want to see your tokens in the next video, all you got to do is comment down below, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. All right, we're going to hop over to TradingView now and go over here to our daily chart and really break things down for you guys so that you can help understand some of the price action and some of the things that are going on. All right, so if we start off here with Dent, all right, and we zoom in, we were looking for this 5-wave structure to hit, all right, and this is exactly what we went over in the last video. Now, what those was our major retracement levels as well as our bullish price targets up here in green. As you can see, we've come up, we've hit our bullish price targets, and now we're attempting to flip those from resistance to support and potentially head back up into this overhead supply zone. Don't worry, I've got some new bullish price targets, as well as, we'll get some new key areas of support that we need to hold. But let's go over really how we come up with these structures, right? And some of the warning signs that we use, and signals that we use to spot some bullish or bearish activity. So if you take a look, we have these sets of 3 lines right here. These are the major Fibonacci retracement levels, the 38.2, 50%, and 61.8% levels. The reason we use these is nothing moves in a straight line up or in a straight line down. Rather, you get a move up, retracement, and then continuation of that trend, or a move down, retracement, continuation of that trend. All right, so that's how you spot basically trend continuation, and that's the signs that we were looking for to see if we were going to be able to come up and hit our bullish price targets if we held above our major retracement levels. Each time we got a strong move to the upside, we pulled back and we were able to hold above those. Now you can spot reversals, okay, if you essentially come down, consolidate, and then break through those retracement levels, right? So upside reversal would be a move down, retracement to those retracement levels, consolidate, and then break through. That's going to be an upside reversal, and a downside reversal is a move up, retracement, consolidation, and break through those levels to the downside. All right. So, again, we're starting off with Dent. We'll get into OriginTrail here in just a second. But as you can see, we actually came down and held our 61.8% retracement level. We did wick down below it a couple times, but overall for the structure is very clean. We came down right around to our wave 4 targets and came up and hit our wave 5 bullish targets. Now, we had some questions about what the MACD was going to do, and it was curling around right here. So if you're not familiar with the MACD, what you want is for entry signals, you want the red line to cross above the blue line. As you can see, that ended up happening right around here and ultimately led to the beginning of this very strong rally that we had. And then we had the questions right here, right? Was it going to curl down? And if it was, then that could have been an indicator of some bearish activity. Now, notice the curl down ended up happening right around here, and we got a sharp pullback, but ultimately we ended up holding above our 61.8% retracement level and continuing the uptrend, right? And I said, hey, if you're bullish on this, what you're going to want to see if this thing curls down is for it to curl back up. And remember, these are the entry signals. And you can see right around this time period, all right, we did get the curl down, and then we ended up curling back up and hitting our wave 5 targets to the upside. Same thing with the relative strength index. So I highlighted something known as bearish divergence on the relative strength index. So if you take a look, we're clearly in an uptrend right here, right? We're making a high and then a higher high right here. Okay, so we have higher highs, but on your RSI, which measures the relative strength of a token at its given price, we have a high, and then we actually got lower highs. So we were starting to lose relative strength. And I said, hey, this is an indicator of some possible bearish activity. If you're bullish on this, you're going to want to see it break out, flip this to support, okay, which is exactly what it did, and stay above this trend line. And like I just said, that's exactly what we did. We broke out, flipped it to support, okay, it bounced here and continued up higher, right? And then ultimately we ended up getting that MACD sell signal, got a move to the downside. But look at where the RSI bounced once we got that move to the downside. We flipped this resistance level to now support, okay? And we bounced off of there. And then shortly afterwards, we got a MACD curl to the upside, a MACD entry signal, and we ended up pushing higher. So if we take a look at some of the current levels right now, what we want to do is we want to hold above our bullish price targets that we had here, okay, 0.001231 and 0.001152. We want to flip these old resistance levels to new support as we're doing right now currently at the moment. But we need to be cautious of this overhead supply zone. We have tested this area a couple times in the past and fallen down below, as well as here recently we tested these levels and fell down below. So be cautious between 0.001396 all the way up to about 0.001545, right? This is going to be a prior supply zone. A supply zone is simply an area where there's an imbalance of sell orders that end up pushing the price down lower. Now, the more times you test the supply zone, just like the more times you test a resistance level, the weaker it gets, right? So, there was an imbalance of sell orders here. Those got filled and then pushed back down. And then we came back up and tested that area. Some more orders got filled and we pushed back down. Over here, we filled some more orders in that area and then we pushed back down. So the question you have to ask is, is there still going to be an imbalance of sell orders in this area? And are people replacing the sell orders in this area, or have over time the sell orders slowly started to evaporate? And if that's the case, then we do have the chance of possibly breaking out. But for now, it's been a valid supply zone, a valid area of resistance, and definitely be cautious in this area as we could pull back as we've done previously before. Now, if we're able to break out past our supply zone, we have some bullish price targets to the upside of 0.001726 and 0.001875. All right, those are going to be the next immediate overhead price targets that I'm going to be looking at and looking for and seeing if we're going to be able to hit those after breaking through our supply zone. But just keep in mind, this thing doesn't have to go higher. It's been extremely bullish here recently. And if we start to break through some of our major support levels, we could come back down and get a reversal to the downside and test some of our previous support levels. So, keep that in mind. Keep an eye on the MACD. Keep an eye on the relative strength index for any type of divergences, things like that. Now, let's hop on over to TRAC real quick, to OriginTrail. All right, and what we're going to do is give a similar breakdown. All right, so on TRAC, we were actually seeing this very long consolidation period, right? So we had some clear supply and demand zones that were highlighted, right? We have an area of demand right here, and then we had an area of supply up here that we kept, pushing through. And same thing that I just mentioned on Dent, right? We wanted to be cautious in the supply zone overhead, as there was a chance that we could pull back. Now we did get a little pullback, but ultimately those sell orders, that imbalance of sell orders, got pushed out and we were able to come up and hit some new highs here on TRAC. All right, now we did have a couple things. I went over bearish divergence in the last video, or in the last token. Let me show you guys what some bullish divergence would be. So in this case, notice how we have some equal lows right here. So we have a low, equal low, equal low. If you take a look at your relative strength index, we're actually making a low, a higher low, and then a higher low again. So we're building relative strength as the token is going sideways, not really increasing in price. That's a bullish divergence indicator. You could see some bullish activity. And sure enough, we got a very nice pop to the upside on TRAC. Okay. Now, most recently, what we covered was our cup and handle pattern, and we were looking to see if we could get a nice three-wave structure to the top of our supply zone. Obviously, we did that, and then we ended up breaking through that supply zone after hitting the wave C target right here. We got a pullback, and those sell orders, that sell imbalance, ended up evaporating and turning into a demand imbalance that clearly pushed the price up higher. Now, very similar to the last one, what we did was, we're establishing, some possible trade ideas, right? So if you take a look, we have our demand zone here in green. So, this is a potential buy signal, right? When you're testing an area of demand, sometimes you might want to go long in these areas where there's a demand imbalance and imbalance of buy orders that keeps pushing the price up higher. Of course, this video is not financial advice. I'm just breaking down some different strategies that you guys can start to learn and really, help give you an edge in the market. Trading's like going to battle, like going to war. You need to have those weapons and know how to use those weapons properly to give yourself an edge. So what we did was we got a nice move up. We pulled back. I said, hey, we need to hold above our 3 major retracement levels. We did that very nicely, and we ended up getting the wave 3 push to the upside. Now, after this big explosive move, okay, we're obviously going to have some new support levels and some new price targets to the upside, which I actually just moved on accident. But our major support levels now that we're going to be looking at are going to be these 3 levels. It's going to be 0.3307, 0.3679, and 0.4051. If we come down, consolidate, break, and flip this 61.8% level at 0.3307 to resistance from support, then we have the possibility of getting a reversal. Okay. So, just be mindful of that. Above this level, above 0.3307, we have the potential of continuing the uptrend, breaking our new highs, and coming up to 0.5845 as well as 0.6515. Those are going to be our new bullish price targets to the upside if we can continue bullishness and head upwards. Now, of course, keep in mind, I mentioned the bearish possibility, but it doesn't mean that if the bearish possibility doesn't play out, we could just go straight to the bullish price target. We've had some really extreme impulsive moves and very large rallies, and we could just trade sideways for a little bit, right? So just be mindful of that. Be open to the possibilities. Use some of the techniques that we learned in this video, such as bullish divergence or bearish divergence, to really help you understand some of the price action as well as the MACD, right? So if you look at the MACD right here, we did get a crossover to the downside, and we got a nice little pullback. All right. And if you're bullish on this, again, you want to see it curl back above the blue line. If it can do that, then that could be another entry signal, and there's a possibility we could come up and hit those bullish price targets. If this thing continues in a downward motion, most likely the token is also going to continue in a downward motion and could come down and test our 0.3307 or potentially even break that level. Now that's going to be it for this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I do these viewer requests every week, so if you want to see your tokens in the next one, all you got to do is comment down below.